will run it himself. He pumps, got some daylight,
hurls to the end zone.
Launching down the middle, intercepted.
For the lead, it is
He's got it. He's picked off with his first attempt.
Perfect pass, right over the shoulder to him. Was he there? So now he's got to throw it deep to the end zone. Makes left.
He got it, and there he goes, inside the 10 to 5. Oh, the play of the year.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to the first ever episode of the Buffalo Blitz podcast. I am Will Sutt, here with Matthew Randall. We are talking all Buffalo football, sports, everything around the NFL, even NHL. All right. So, first big story coming from the Bills right now is the Buffalo Bills just signed Khalil Shakir to a 4-year contract extension worth $60.2 million. $32 million guaranteed. Matt, what are your thoughts on that?
He's a great receiver. Khalil's done a lot, especially to fill the hole that not only Stephon Diggs but Gabe Davis left in the wide receiver core for the Bills. I'm okay with him getting that money, but the problem is, with at least for me, is I feel like we need to free up our free agency money for hopefully guys like maybe like Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, even just leave a little more room to breathe with, because that's what we ran into last year was we had to let a lot of guys go like Diggs and like Gabe Davis, even though they wanted out. The big thing with that too was they had so much money to their name, we had to get rid of them. Yeah,
like there's too much cap tied to it. I personally don't think it's the worst decision.
No.
It could have been worse. It's a good amount of money. It's 32 guaranteed.
And like 60 total.
Yeah. So I think he's worth the money. He's been a great receiver for the Bills these last few years. And yeah, he's really filled in that hole that no one has really seemed to be able to do for Diggs.
I mean, Keon Coleman's done a little bit of that, but he had a lot, honestly, too much pressure and too much expectations going into it. And for the role he had to step into, I feel like he did a perfectly fine job, and he's definitely going to grow as a receiver as the years go on, and maybe even one day be kind of that veteran to younger receivers that we saw in Gabe Davis and Diggs when they were still on the team.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So on the topic, what are some pending free agents that you would love to see be re-signed by the Bills?
I definitely think one of the big spots we need and that we struggled with last year a little bit was getting a lot of quick pressure on that quarterback. We were able to get a lot.
No. What pending free agents? Pending free agents do you want the Bills to resign?
Pending free agents to resign. Definitely, guys. I think one guy that really stepped into a major role on the defensive side when after we lost Micah Hyde was Taylor Rapp.
Yeah, Taylor Rapp, he did okay. I definitely think Hamlin and Rapp are good.
Yes.
They definitely should be solid backups. I think we should get another safety, but they're definitely worth re-signing to
most definitely
a short-term deal. I think Matt Collins. We should re-sign Matt Collins.
The caveman.
He had the most receiving touchdowns at 6 this year. He had the best costumes. He
barefoot every game, baby.
Ooh, yeah.
Buffalo weather.
Yep. Everyone in Buffalo had foot fetishes whenever he saw the field.
Dear God.
Anyway, so yeah, he's been a good receiver. He's definitely had his lowlights and spotlight moments.
Yeah.
So I think he's worth re-signing. to a good deal.
The big
And he's
thing,
veteran presence.
Yeah, the big thing I think we saw this year too with the Bills was we saw that switch from, kind of a very one guy heavy offense that we saw with Diggs and Gabe Davis that we had last year, and we switched more to this role where guys that, really for years have never appeared in these headlines of big name, big yards, really any records. These guys have came up and they've stood and they've stepped up into place when they've been needed, and just to fill anything, just a simple catch. Guys like Matt Collins, Curtis Samuel, Keon Coleman, those guys have filled roles, filled really essentially black holes when it comes to the receiving core, and took the Bills pretty darn close to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, basically, I agree with you. The Bills were dipped their toes in everything. Like what
Everybody
we had,
eats.
it was supposed to be a rebuilding year. Everybody eats. Ty Johnson had some nice catches. Ray Davis as well.
Ray Davis
and
is
then
a bowling ball.
we kind of split up the running game, 4 ways.
Yeah.
Between our 3 halfbacks and Josh Allen.
Oh,
And all of them were decent. All of them were really good.
yeah, something I saw the other day too. James Cook unfollowed the Bills on, I believe it was Instagram.
Yeah,
Was that a week ago?
Yeah, something
What are
like
your
that.
thoughts on that? Do you think that's his sign of I want out, or do you think
He wants money. He
Yeah.
released a statement on that. I think on his Instagram he wants money. He doesn't want to be a diva. However, he unfollowed the Bills, so I don't know what he's trying to pull here. Obviously, he's just trying to defend his actions, but Saquon Barkley's only making $12 million a year, and he basically took the Eagles to a Super Bowl. They were
Yeah.
not going to the Super Bowl without him.
Especially
And
after
probably
losing,
Nick
like, Jason
Sirianni's shaved head. But yeah, I don't think he's worth $15 million. He still has another year on his rookie deal, and if we put him on the franchise tag, we get 2 more decent years out of him as veteran presence for Ty Johnson, Ray Davis, and hopefully Frank Gore Jr.
Yeah.
And then we can cut him, because obviously because even with especially with Josh Allen, we have a good rush game.
Yeah.
We have a good running game.
I hope he stays, because James Cook definitely, because that was the one thing the Bills had struggled with for years, was a good, decent running game. And James Cook really took that running game that the Bills struggled with and kind of brought it into that light of now it's more of a danger. It took the Bills, which the biggest problem for the Bills was they were a 1D offense. It was so easy. You lock down the pass, you shut Josh Allen down, the game's over. There was no running game. Maybe Josh Allen can run a cut here and there, but there was no running game of, hey, how do we waste the clock?
This year we have a good run game.
Yeah.
And we still have Joe Brady at least for another year. He said he doesn't want to leave Buffalo, which is a really, really good thing
Because
for us.
everyone expected him to just be, he's just going to be here until we find a new offensive coordinator. He's done just works. I think that's really just a testament to how Buffalo is. Everyone and their mother stepped into a position where they needed to, just to get everything to where it needed to be. And really that kind of selfless play is what took Buffalo almost to a Super Bowl.
And yeah, completely agree with that. Most certainly. And Joe Brady's gone above and beyond. It was not his fault. It was not the offense's fault.
No.
For the most part, why we didn't lose that game. It was many factors. It was
Defense.
I mean, that first down continuously going for the tush push wasn't necessarily the best idea in hindsight.
Nope.
But we technically should have had that first down, but this is one problem. We can't leave things up to the refs, because it'll never go our way. It's just Buffalo. It never will. It doesn't matter who we're playing. But
Shouldn't have to rely on that.
Yeah, but no, it was partially the wide receiver screen with Amari Cooper on third down, but again, that was really it. We had a strong offensive game. It was like multiple factors. It was partly the defense as well.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
But I think the biggest question that's actually now that, we're done with the playoffs, the Eagles have won it, but the big thing is because it's been year after year after year, Buffalo has lost to Mahomes. So now the question is, what's going to get Buffalo over that hump of, because every year we get to the playoffs, we do good in the playoffs, but it's just that one roadblock we keep hitting. What do you think is the big thing that the Bills need to just get them over that hump and get them to the Super Bowl?
Well, I'm not going to give you the answer I think everybody is thinking about. But I think we need a better defense. Our offense has mostly has not been the issue. It's mainly our defense stuttering in big moments.
Yeah.
We almost blew it against the Baltimore game. That was our defense. Was our defense.
And the thing is too is
our offense.
Yeah, a big thing there too is if you look at the roster and you look at the Bills' defensive roster, there's really none big standouts. There's no superstars. I mean, Matt Milano's an amazing player.
Matt Milano is great.
Matt Milano,
one
Ed
of the
Oliver,
best
Greg Rousseau. Those guys are amazing in their own ways, but we just need someone that will bring everything together, that will fully take Buffalo past that, because the offense has been doing everything they need to. I personally think what it is another linebacker to help out Matt Milano and maybe even a couple corners or safety.
Yeah. You see, the thing is, Matt Milano, he's one of the best outside linebackers in the NFL. I think top 15 at least. Just he can't stay healthy.
Yep.
Last 2 years, he has not been healthy. We didn't even get him till December this year. He was out for the first 5. He was out past week 5 last season, and then he didn't come back until this past December. Terrell Bernard is good, but not great.
Yeah.
He
filled a hole, but honestly, that's the thing is too that Buffalo's been struggling with is how long can you patch these holes before it's realized that the ship is going down and that it's eventually because these guys, they're all aging. No matter what you do, they're all going to age. So
Von Miller's still good, but he's old.
Yeah, he's old. Unc out there is fighting for his life. Honestly, Von Miller's good. He had an amazing career, but we need some youth on that end to get. I mean, honestly, not even
Myles
youth.
Garrett isn't youth, but we could definitely use him. Him and Myles Garrett, and then I'd be okay cutting
Max
Von
Crosby?
Miller. If we get Myles Garrett and Max Crosby, I think we'll be good. And then if we have to cut Von Miller after that, then that would be okay. But I think those are two key pieces that we could really use. I don't think we would need T. Higgins. I don't think we need to get a better defense. Our O-line has done great. Connor McGovern was a great center.
Yep.
Deion Dawkins is one of the best tackles.
Deion Dawkins is built like a
He's
fridge.
one of the best tackles you will ever see. And we did well on the line. We have great weapons. Dalton Kincaid's doing great things.
Yeah.
I thought Dawson Knox would regress a little bit, and he hasn't, which is good. He has not regressed. But we need to fix the defense. We need to get a better defense.
Yeah.
And I think it will be multiple players. So next topic, I want to talk about the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
I want to talk about the Super Bowl. There's
yeah.
so many things we can talk about. I know this is basically old news at this point, but we can't avoid talking about this year's Super Bowl.
The scoreboard make me want to cry.
Yeah.
Because it took, I don't know why, I don't know who was deciding this, but it seems that in every major sports, team, or not even team, major sports, oh my gosh, league out there, they're switching to these more like bland scoreboards, and they're disgusting.
Let me stop you right there. So last year, NBC Sports Regional Networks unveiled a new score bug for the NHL and NBA. It replaced the logos that they previously had with just boring text in like that Fortnite style font that they used for the Fox graphic.
So bad.
And then they changed it for this year's MLB one, removing the poop games from the Pittsburgh and Philadelphia 0-0 score games. That isn't a thing anymore because they put in the abbreviations instead of the logos. I'm for simplicity. Just I think
it's too much.
The scoreboard downgrades, like the logos just look better on the scoreboard.
Yeah,
they do. The logos, they look nice and clean, and you can have it as simple as you want, even if it's like you have the time, and then between that you have the logos, and then the score in the middle of that. But like the abbreviations, that's what they did in the 90s and 2000s. Not even like the late 2000s, but like the early 2000s when they really didn't have the technology to do cool stuff.
But now they do.
But they do, and this is how they're using it. Some people like the simplicity, a lot don't. It's a strange thing, but I want to actually get into the Super Bowl now. So Mahomes got lit up. A white cornerback got a pick six in the Super Bowl. Our Jackie Robinson, Cooper DeJean. I'm not going to sing the song because I don't want to get copyrighted on the first episode.
No.
And the NFL's Patrick Mahomes highlight reel. The score started 34-0 in the third quarter on that video. You know that's bad.
Whoops.
Patrick Mahomes be stat padding against freaking Eagles second stringers. Third string defenders. It's crazy.
So the one thing with the Super Bowl too is, that this entire season for the Chiefs was, can they get that elusive three-peat? And obviously, as we all saw,
no,
they did not.
Because barely getting by bad teams in the playoffs is not a key for success. You're going to get blown out by good teams, and we basically had them. It's just
let down our guard.
The refs had to meet their parlay.
Yeah.
But
so, honestly, big question I have for you in terms of the Super Bowl is, do we think next year will be kind of this revenge year for Mahomes, or do we think the dynasty for the Chiefs is starting to come to an end?
First off, I never thought of them as a dynasty, obviously, because we're Bills fans. But are they dwindling? I don't know. If the NFL really wants to make them look like the Chiefs, they're going to go 10 years without a ring. But I just don't know. There's better teams coming up.
Yeah.
The Bills, Allen has got to be as angry as ever as he was last year. He wanted that. He was taking matters into his own hands. The Eagles, they're not regressing. No. They looked amazing, and they will continue that momentum. Ravens, they're still going to choke in the playoffs, whether it's the championship round or the divisional round. No, they'll get by in the wild card. But no, there's still good teams, and I think the 49ers will be better.
And the thing is, too, is Travis Kelce is as old as Rob Gronkowski. And
he would have retired if they got the three-peat.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I can bet you that.
He would have retired. That's partially why I wanted the Chiefs to three-peat. I could have dealt with that because I've already watched them win for so many years. But I'm glad they didn't. I'll be honest. Obviously, but he would have retired.
If I had to watch the Chiefs win the Super Bowl and on national television watch Travis Kelce propose to Taylor Swift, I might have put my fist through my TV. I might have thrown the remote. It's not that I hate the Chiefs. I mean, you can never hate on success. I mean, obviously people always say, well, 2 Super Bowls is 2 Super Bowls. Tom Brady had what, 7? But you can't be mad if they've gotten there. They've gotten a lot farther than a lot of teams have, even the Bills. And that's the big thing too, is it's just been for years and years and years. Why can't we get over the hump where these teams always seem to? And that's the big thing with it.
Yeah. So I want to talk about some other things going on around in sports right now. First off, this past week we were on February break. If you don't know what that is, it's midwinter break. We got a week off.
Dumb.
It's not dumb. It's a week off of school.
It's a week off of school, but it's that 1 week where everything is beginning to thaw, or it's just cold for no reason.
Thing is,
so you can't do anything.
We had snow here. We had a lot of snow here all week.
Just cold.
Yeah. God. So, anyways, all last week from last Sunday, and it ended this Sunday, Tom Grossi, YouTuber with 819,000 subscribers, did a charity stream where he did not stop streaming until he raised $1 million for the Children of Fallen Patriots charity, where he raised hundreds of years of college tuition for children who have lost a mother or father serving in the military, whether it was self-harm or combat training or directly in the line of duty. It was a good cause. He raised the $1 million in 140 something hour. He raised it in a little under a week. He gained like 3,000 subscribers. And he raised over $1 million, and many people came on his stream. Brandon Perna from That's Good Sports, the general manager of Monday Night Raw, and many others. Jaguar Gator 9 one night did a stream when Tom Grossi slept, because he slept on stream. I watched nearly the whole thing. That's all I did all week. He probably got more sleep than I did.
Same.
But that raised $3,000 for the charity as well. So that was also nice. And he's just been great at giving back. He's raised over $2 million for various charities. And it's just a good thing. It's just a good thing he's been doing. He went to 7 countries and 30 NFL stadiums for over 2 years to raise money for St. Jude, and it's just been absolutely cool. Anyway, next up, I want to talk about the Four Nations face-off. I know this is I know this is supposed to be football, but
here we go.
You can't avoid it. You just can't. You can't avoid it.
I stayed away from hockey for years. I mean, I watched tidbits here and there, but I've honestly stayed away from it for so long because the Sabres break my heart every time I watch them, because they do so good and then they don't. So, but honestly, I think this Four Nations face-off that they did, instead of like an all-star game, or instead of this like, oh, let's do like a whatever. It's just a better way to do and put these guys in a competitive place. Because that's the thing we've seen a drop in over the years, is now for a lot of these guys, and it's not even for hockey, for all sports really, the all-star game is just fun. It's not competitive like it used to be. And honestly, I feel like all these major, even the NBA, the NFL, they could all definitely, even the MLB, they could definitely adopt either the Four Nations or throw something together like the USA versus the world. I think
the
it'd be
NBA
better.
could do a 3-game series of NBA versus the world, because there's not that many
countries.
But also MLB, it could work. MLB, most certainly it could work, but they're not gonna. They might do that, but I don't know. That's the only one that makes sense. The NFL, there's not enough players in other countries to do it.
Yeah,
they're gonna keep doing the Pro Bowl. It's still gonna suck.
I know.
And
that's just
the thing is with the
hurts.
NHL, they have all these different countries that play hockey. Canada, Finland, Sweden, United States, Czechia, Russia, on all their countries, but those are like the major 6. And since this replaced the All-Star break, we had the four Canada, US, Sweden, and Finland. I think they're not going to bring Russia back, at least right now, due to all the politics and stuff. And Czechia, I looked a few days ago, they don't even have enough players to fill an entire team, which is sad. They used to, and they were in the 2016 World Cup of Hockey. But I think they should do a Team Europe, which is what they did at the World Cup of Hockey. Have like green colors, the blue and yellow from the EU or something. Anyway, but they should do a Team Europe because this replaced the All-Star game. This will be like the 2016 World Cup of Hockey, where they bring all the greatest players from other countries who otherwise wouldn't have been able to film a roster for their country. This allows them to play, and I think that would be great, especially since this is replacing the All-Star game.
I mean, and the big thing too we saw with that is obviously we've all heard of the tensions.
And it would be the 5 nations face-off.
Yeah.
Which arguably sounds cooler, the 5 nations face-off.
And the big thing too we saw,
which is more than 5 nations, but it still sounds cool.
The 4 nations was obviously there's been a ton of controversy between Canada and the U.S. in the news recently. The big thing we saw was the national anthems for Canada and the U.S. getting booed by separate fan bases during it, and we saw obviously 9 fights in that first game that we saw between Canada and the U.S. That's the style of hockey people love to see, is just in each other's face, competitive. We're going at each other. That's the kind of spark we've lost from All-Star games. We've lost this competitiveness that 4 nations really brought out, because it's been this opportunity for, other than the Olympics, it's been this opportunity for these guys to really go out and kind of get that sense of they are really representing their country and go out and compete, especially with all the politics that is going on currently.
Yeah, exactly. So I came across this post on Instagram. It is basically the most hockey games watched this year. So basically, the most viewed NHL game before this was Boston Bruins versus Vegas Golden Knights. It drew in 1.27 million viewers on ABC. Finland versus USA, when they played, drew in 1.55 million viewers. That's the highest rated NHL game. Well, not technically NHL game, hockey game this year.
And the Canada versus US was
Canada versus
had
US.
Had more viewers than the Stanley Cup last year.
Part 1 drew in 4.44 million viewers. You know what the response to that was? The finals drew in 9.25 million freaking viewers.
Stanley Cup doesn't even get that anymore.
Yeah, the Winter Classic this year on TNT, which I'm sure no one knew about because it hasn't been good
I didn't know about it.
Yeah, it used to be on NBC. I missed that. Doc Emmerich, Eddie Olczyk. But, yeah, it drew in about 900,000 viewers. About 900,000 viewers. That's insane when, like, the Winter Classic usually brings in millions, at least.
Yeah.
Which is insane. So,
I would like to, I don't know, it's a crazy switch. I'd like to throw us back into the football sphere here. Green Bay Packers trying to get the Tush Push banned. What do you think about it?
I saw a lot of things where Green Bay Packers fans are just embarrassed, because
Get a better O-line.
yeah, get a better D-line. But yeah,
And then you can do it.
I mean, originally revealing yourselves to be anonymous and then showing up, I don't know. But if you can't stop it, then you shouldn't go trying to get it banned.
Yeah.
And I don't really know. I don't like what they were doing. It just seems a little classless.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, and not just the Chiefs, I think the Dolphins too have proved that can be stopped.
Oh, yeah.
Many teams have stopped it before. And it's think, not a 100% guarantee.
And I think too, it'll
even
be,
by the Eagles.
Yeah, I think it'll be to become kind of the different, the types of trick plays we've seen in the NFL, such as the Wildcat offense. Teams will eventually learn to stop these trick plays.
And
these
it's already happened.
Yeah, and it's only going to get more and more prevalent. And then once the Tush Push is stopped, there'll be another play that'll be it. So there'll always be this back and forth of plays people think that should be banned and shouldn't be banned.
Yeah. Although that Four Nations face-off, the first 9 seconds, 3 fights, the Kachuk brothers going to the box, that's still funny.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, that series was insane. I know they can't do it next year because of the Olympics, but gosh, I hope they do this. Not every year, because then it would get boring.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like
they're definitely gonna mix it up.
Kind of like this Winter Classic.
Yeah.
But that would be cool.
It's and like, so much better than like an all-star game.
They could even do like they could even do a 3-game series between US and Canada, and then like a 3-game series between Finland and Sweden, and then a 3-game series between 2 mixed European teams or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that would bring in quite a few viewers to bet, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, another thing, I would like to talk about all the newest NFL coaching hires. First off, we're gonna go with Ben Johnson to the Bears. What do you think on him? What do you think about him?
Ben Johnson, going to the Bears. I feel like the big thing the Bears have had, the big problem the Bears have had for years was quarterbacks. I mean, they keep getting these really good quarterbacks. They keep getting all this talent, but for some reason
they waste it.
They either not even waste it. They just can't. They just don't have anyone to develop these guys, and they don't have someone that will put in effort to turn these guys into really good quarterbacks. And the thing is, with Caleb Williams, he's an amazing quarterback, and it's going to be really sad to see if the Bears just do another one of their tricks and if the Bears just don't develop them. It'll be really sad to see.
Yeah. And yeah, they've wasted some good quarterbacks, and they've also not been good at drafting good quarterbacks. I'm like, they just haven't. And 105 years into your franchise existence and not having a single franchise quarterback is not a good thing.
No.
At least the Cardinals,
Kyler Midget,
have somewhat of Kyler Murray and they had Kurt Warner for a few years.
Yeah.
Which basically were their only like franchise quarterbacks. Anyway, next up, Pete Carroll to the Raiders.
Oh my gosh.
I like this. I like this a lot. Pete Carroll is a proven coach.
Very proven.
this is
Big thing.
obviously the Raiders are making smarter decisions.
Yep. Honestly, too, the big thing with the Raiders is of course we know Tom Brady's had his hand in the Raiders franchise, and he's been doing a lot behind the scenes with the Raiders, and he's pulling a lot of things together. Like the GM for the Raiders was recently fired, new coaching. I feel like all these things that are happening that Tom Brady is secretly orchestrating within this franchise, and really everyone that's a part of the Raiders franchise. I feel like eventually, if the Raiders is worked on long enough, it will start to turn into a kind of franchise that is respectable in the NFL.
And then another one I really like, Mike Vrabel to the Patriots.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
That's a good one.
It made me very sad when I saw that Mike Vrabel was fired from the Titans.
Yeah.
Because he's such a good coach and he's done a lot, but I feel like people just don't respect what he's done.
Just because he didn't have good Titans teams that last 2 years.
I mean, he did decent for what he had.
Yeah.
But you can only take Ryan
Tannehill. You can only take Ryan Tannehill so far.
Yeah.
And but he's in a good situation now. He'll be all right. Up next, Mr. Liam Duval Cohen.
Oh God.
I had to do it. It sounds like he's confused, surprised, and whatever at the same time, and sad.
Yeah, the Jacksonville's another franchise that's been struggling for.
I feel like
forever.
The Buccaneers are going to absolutely stat pad the Jaguars for not signing, for Cohen not signing with the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
But I think he'll do okay.
Very good.
Brian Schottenheimer with the Cowboys. Big D for Dallas. I don't like this one at all.
No.
No.
I mean, I don't know what the heck is going on in Dallas. Dallas has been just struggling.
Jerry
across
Jones
the board.
is dumb.
He needs to be put in a retirement home.
New Orleans Saints. Kellen Moore. I don't mind this one. I don't mind it at all. I don't mind it.
Yeah. Is that all?
Yeah, I think that's it.
We're good here?
That's
I got one more for you.
Ooh.
What is your thoughts on the Bills' new stadium?
Curveball. I can't wait to never afford to be able to go to a Bills game.
Never again. I'm gonna be.
And
if so, I think they're just gonna have to strap me to the rafters.
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously the big thing is that there's so many memories in Buffalo. There's so many memories that have happened in that stadium. But
the thing is,
it's
they
outdated.
do need a new stadium.
It's outdated.
They
I know.
do.
It'll be something nice too. That'll.
Yeah.
I feel like eventually it'll. I mean, who knows? Maybe even the first Bills Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it'd certainly be nice. It's not coming till 2026, so we still have one more year.
Yup.
At least. So.
Yeah. I think that's a wrap.
And plus, they got covered stands now.
Yep.
It's fully enclosed. It will hopefully prevent
Snowball
more wide
fights.
rights in the future.
Snowball fights. Lots of snowball fights.
It
It was also designed to be the loudest stadium in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think it's a nice stadium. I don't like that it's going to be so expensive.
Well, I have to get going, so.
So yeah, we're all done here.
Yeah.
So
that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Thank you for tuning in to episode 1 of the Buffalo Blitz. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you actually enjoyed it. We'll be here all off season, and we will be here all off season and the start of the Bills season. So thank you for tuning in. See you next week.
See you.